Good afternoon and welcome back to North of the Broad. I'm here this afternoon with our next guest, Sue Fillmore, who comes to us from Beaufort Memorial Hospital. Thank you, Sue.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, it was a pleasure for me to have you here on the show. You and I work together.
Yes, we do.
On blood drives, and so you are one of our chair people for the Blood Alliance and represent Beaufort Memorial Hospital in having quarterly blood drives. So I wanted you to come on the show and talk a little bit about why it is that Beaufort Memorial Hospital sponsors drives, and just a little bit about your experience both on the professional side, and if you wouldn't mind sharing with us your personal experience as a blood donor. So why have blood drives?
Well, there's no substitute for human blood. And we've gone a long way at the hospital with reducing our blood usage through blood conservation, but there's still some patients that need blood. Our sickle cell patients, our cancer patients are two of our biggest blood users, and there's no alternative. They can't do anything else. They have to have those blood products there. Trauma patients, if you're in an accident, we need that blood on the shelf when you come in the door, the ER. We need to have that ready for you because it could make the difference between life and death for you.
It absolutely does, and we know that it's something about where we are both very passionate about this, and so and blood is used, like you mentioned, in all sorts of areas, but you have a wonderful blood bank there at the hospital as part of the pathology department where you work.
Right.
But not only in those trauma patients, but in the ER, there's an opportunity to need to use blood. Talk a little bit about that, if you can, about some more of the usage.
Well, a lot of times in the ER, like a patient will come in that's very anemic, that their blood counts for whatever reason have dropped. They've got a GI bleed or whatever's going on that is totally unexpected, and they need blood, and they need it right now. Like I said, the traumas, if somebody's in a car wreck or a gunshot or something, then we have our cancer patients. We've worked really hard with routine surgeries to not use as many blood products for routine surgeries, to try other alternatives for the patients. And a lot of times we're successful at that, but sometimes even in a routine surgery something will happen, and we've had patients that have had a delivery and then had something rupture and had to have emergency surgery and have to have blood products
and transfusions,
and so there's just so many different scenarios and different circumstances for why people would need blood, and so that's why it's so important to have it there on the shelf.
Right, something that we both preach every single day in our day jobs, right? We talk about those emergencies or those unexpected situations where it could be a family member or a neighbor that could be in need. So who can donate? That's one of the questions we probably both get a lot in our positions. So talk about a little bit about that, and particularly so we can share that with the general public about who can donate.
Well, the high school, age 16, you can donate at the high school drives with a parent's permission. Other drives are at the donor center, age 17. Weigh at least 110 pounds.
That's right. We don't weigh you, but we hope that you're honest about that.
Right. And there's a reason for that. I mean, it's for your own health and safety that those FDA regulations are in place. Right,
and I'm glad that you bring that up, because that happens a lot of times. People would love to be able to donate, but for some reason, we are a highly regulated industry, FDA, and so we encourage people to come donate, but like you said, it's not us saying, no, you can't donate. It is the FDA, and we want to make sure that the safety of every donor is a primary concern.
That's right.
Yep. So you mentioned about who can donate. We talk about coming to the center. Well, let's talk about the wonderful drives that you guys have at Beaufort Memorial Hospital that you were just so passionate about.
I try very hard. My upcoming blood drive, my theme is Blood's the Juice of Life, and I selected that theme because a coworker found that line in a newspaper from the 1970s, and she said, if you'll use that line, I'll come donate.
Okay.
So I've done that. I have dressed up as a vampire in the past because I had a donor tell me if I dressed up that he would come donate. So I just try to do whatever I can to make it fun and to get the interest up.
Yeah, I mean, you're willing to go the extra mile for sure to wear costumes and use crazy taglines in order to recruit those donors. Right. And the hospital, as we've mentioned, is an incredibly generous partner with the Blood Alliance. We work together. You do an amazing job about getting your employees to come out. Those drives that you have are open to the public as well, too?
Yes, they are.
Sue, thank you so much for sharing all this information with us. Before we end, tell me, where can viewers go to find out more information about upcoming blood drives at Beaufort Memorial Hospital?
You can go to the Blood Alliance website, which is www.igiveblood.com, and you can find upcoming drives not only at Beaufort Memorial but at other areas in the community, along with the hours for the donor center. You can sign up and make an appointment, or you can, any information, any questions that you have, that website will be helpful.
Great, you're a pro. I mean, you've got this down. So thank you so much for joining us and sharing with us your experience working at the hospital and promoting blood drives here in the community.
Thank you.
We'll be right back with our next guest on North of the Broad.